My Lords, I was really fascinated when I listened to Lord Bure and when he asserted that no one really understands international law. And I noticed that it wasn't challenged when he said that. But I want to say that Lord Bure is someone who I have a high regard and a high respect for. He doesn't always agree with me, and I certainly don't always agree with him. But that does not diminish my respect for him in any way. My Lords, when this bill was in another place, the Right Honourable Hilary Benn MP said, and I quote, "Let us not forget that Northern Ireland is in a unique and favourable position compared with my constituents previously, precisely because it has access to both the market of the UK and the market of the European Union." The more I thought about this comment, the more troubled I have become. And the more I wonder whether Mr. Benn and those making similar assertions have really thought through the full implication of their position. Now, I don't accept for one moment that the protocol is an economic benefit. In a 5-minute speech, it will not be possible to go through all that, but to humour Mr. Benn, let's assume for a moment he's right. What is the effect of encouraging the people of Northern Ireland to be reconciled to sacrificing their vote as it relates to 300 areas of the lawmaking to which they are subject in return for economic gain? My Lords, the dignity of our politics is based on the fact that people are ends in themselves, not means to an end. The idea that the guarantee of our equal value is our equal citizenship can be appropriately treated to any degree as a means of becoming rich is about the most disturbing thing I have ever encountered in all my entire political life, which extends to about 50 years now. It amounts to encouraging us to sell our political souls for economic gain. That we in this Parliament should be brought so low when we regard our historic commitment to political freedom and democracy is, to say the very least, shameful. I could quote any number of our great political thinkers to illustrate this point, but lest anyone suggests I am too parochial, France has already been mentioned here today, the importance of keeping friendly with them. Well, I'll then quote a French person by the name of Montesquieu, whose celebrated spirit of the law, A.J. Carlyle, summarises thus: that in a free state every man who is considered to have a free spirit and woman should be governed by himself or herself, and therefore the people as a body should have the legislative power. But as this is impractical, the people must act through their representatives chosen by local election. Of course, the right to participate in your government rather than being its passive recipient is also provided for by international law, whoever understands international law. The right to political participation can be found in provisions like Article 25 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and Article 21 of the Universal Declaration on Human Rights, which states everyone has the right to take part in the government of his/her country directly or through freely chosen representatives. Everyone has the right to equal access to public service in their country. The people of Northern Ireland have lost their ability to take part in the government of their country in relation to some 300 areas of law. They can no longer stand for election to become legislators, making laws in these areas, or elect a legislator to represent them in this task because, under the Brexit arrangements, these laws are now made for Northern Ireland by the EU, a polity of which it is not a part and in whose Parliament it consequently has no representation whatsoever. In Northern Ireland, of course, these points are greatly compounded by the additional protections of the Good Friday Agreement or the Belfast Agreement, which sets out the rights, and I quote, pursue democratically national and political aspirations. This additional protection for the integrity of the vote in Northern Ireland reflects our troubled history, where sadly in the past some have been persuaded to trade the ballot box for the ball, and the need to ensure that the value of democratic engagement is never demeaned or eroded. Furthermore, the hands of the UK government are further prevented from acquiescing with the erosion of the value of the vote by reallocating the making of its laws in some 300 areas to a polity to which it is not part and in which it is no representation at all, courtesy of Article 2 of the Protocol, which states the United Kingdom shall ensure that no diminution of rights, safeguards or equality of opportunity as set out in this part of the 1998 agreement entitled Rights, Safeguards and Equality of Opportunity results from its withdrawal from the Union. The meaning is clear. There can be no diminution of the rights of people in Northern Ireland to pursue democratically national and political aspirations from the 1998 level that the Good Friday Agreement protects. And yet every time a piece of legislation is placed on Northern Ireland by the EU legislator in which Northern Ireland is not represented, the Good Friday Agreement is violated. That surely should concern us all, not least those who are strong advocates for the Good Friday Agreement.
My Lord,